Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope we are on. Anybody there? Can you hear me? If you can see and hear me, please just send me a chat. You guys there? Good stuff. Okay, so I'll just give it another minute or so before everybody, so everybody can log on, and then we will begin. Good stuff. Okay. Organic brain. So, what's everyone? Martin and Nadia, I see you are together for this class, so thank you again for the invite. Hopefully I have something interesting, well I think it's interesting, hopefully you think it's interesting too, planned for this evening, and really just enjoy the training, train hard. I know it's a Saturday night, not that we can really go many places, but I do realize it's a sacrifice, it is a weekend, and those of you who are working, it's your time off. So thank you for being here, and I look forward to taking you. Before we begin though, we need to warm up. As you realize, I'm in the southern hemisphere, so we are fully into winter now, and it is getting a little nippy here, which I know for most of you in Europe would be like midsummer for you, but for us that are used to warm weather, it's starting to get cold. So, jump up and up. Forward back. Side to side. And jumping jacks. And forward. And start slowing down. Right, heads up and down. Side to side. Ear to shoulder. And rotate your knees. Head, rather. Swing arms to the front. And back. And open out. Upper back. Lower back. And rotate your hips. Other way. Side to side. Deep leg forward stance. Onto the board of the foot. And sit back. To the right. Onto the board of your foot. And sit back. And fish. Lifting out. And sit back and lean over. Other leg out. Lean over. Then center splits. Back, into your left. Try and keep your body as upright as possible. Don't lean forward this way. Keep straight, don't twist. Just try and keep your body open. And the other way. And lean forward. Bring your legs in. Butterfly. And grab your feet and just start extending outwards. Left ankle. Work your toes as well. Right ankle. Put your leg in. And push down. And lean forward. Put the leg up. And push down. And lean forward. And up. Roll your knees. And shake out. Okay, so hopefully you're all still there. You all still see and hear me. Sorry, I've got a TV set up over here. That's why I'm looking off camera. You're all still there? Okay, good. Alright, so today I'm going to spend a little bit of time working on open hand techniques. I think they're particularly underutilized. And I find it interesting because there's so much of it in our kata, yet it's so underutilized when we do kumite. And I think part of that stems from the lack of open hand techniques in most traditional Shotokan organizations, Kion syllaba. So in KWF, Yahara Sensei is a big fan of Haito, of Shibuchi, and of course Uraken, which has quite a lot of emphasis therefore being put on it in our syllabi, which has just been overhauled. So today we're going to work on Teisho, Shibuchi, and Haito, and then start applying it both in kata and through into kumite. You know, when you do karate, I think it's very important that whatever you do in Kion must filter into how you do kata and ultimately in how you do kumite. You know, I've said to you before, Kion is Kion, kata is Kion, and kumite is Kion. So this really is the basis of everything. If you get your Kion right, so your kumite or your kata becomes quite easy. But before we do that, let's just do 10 Gyakuzuki on each side, just to warm up those hips, warm up the body. You don't need to blast it, just use it to warm up a little bit. So left leg going forward, get up right. Wait. Make sure your hips are open out. So remember our last class, if you were there, I discussed the importance of having full range hip movement. So don't cut it short, not 45, 90 degrees. If you have a look, I'm completely out, then you work completely in. And that drive must come with your back leg, off that hip going, and then just try and twist everything together. Good. I'm just going to do this so you are more in camera. Just going to do 10 on each side. Ready? Itch. And back. Knee. And back. Just make sure that when you do your Gyakuzuki, you clamp in, use abductor muscles, thrust that hip forward. And back. Side. And back. And just be light with it. Chi. And back. Go. And back. Rip. And back. Sit. And back. Just let your hip initiate the movement. Hutch. And back. Q. And back. Okay, we do the other side as well. Right leg going forward, get on right plank. And again, just remember, of course, Zoom is spun around, so my right will be your left and vice versa. Turn your hip out, the opposite arm, drive that hip. Hitch. And back. Knee. And back. Use that hip, open it out. Sun. And back. She. And back. Go. And back. Rook. And back. Sit. And back. So make sure you don't flick your elbow out when you punch. Straight, keep your palm facing upwards until your elbow is past your side. That way you project forward rather than getting this flick around. And back. Last one. And back. And stand up your belly. So hopefully you're warm and ready to go. We start now with Shudochi. So in fact, yeah, Shudochi is fine. Before we begin, let me just explain the movements a little bit to you. So the idea is, of course, you are coming around it. It's not a nukite, it's not straight, but you also don't have that much time. No one is going to allow you a movement with that much of a range. So it needs to be a natural line, almost like you're throwing a ball. You know, if you think of a cricketer, a fielder on the edge of the field, throwing back to the wicket, it's a quick grab, up, and throw. And that's the similar action to what you're going to do in your shudochi. So it's a relaxed, upward movement and through. Driven again by your hip. If you have a look where my hand is, of course I am, throw it tight. I'll come a little closer so you can see it as well. I like, at the end of the movement, just to have a slight upward twist. That way, if you all feel this bone over here, that one, it's called your pisiform bone. It's like a little circle, and that, hitting your opponent under the angle of the jaw, I think becomes quite effective. So do give yourself that little bit of a twist at the end. Your arm can't be dead straight, elbow a little bit bent, wrist cocked a little bit down. If you're doing that, you can't make contact under the chin. Just cock your wrist to give you a little bit of leeway. Dead straight puts too much pressure on that elbow. Push your shoulder down. Elbow bends slightly, but only slightly. If you have a look, I'm not dead straight, but neither am I here, because you want to project and extend towards your opponent. And as with any movement, hip action is the key to making power. So let's try that. Roy. Left leg going forward, get on right way. So try gently at first, slowly, itch. And back. Pull that opposite arm, knee. And back. Sun. And back. She. And back. Go. And back. Rook. And back. Sit. You can start making it a little bit more forceful. And back. Punch. And back. So if you watch, come a little bit closer, watch my hip. Can you see that drive? That's what creates the power of that next movement. Cube. And back. And two. And back. And always just key out yourself on number 10. Again, using your core, getting your bum underneath. If you look at me from the side, you see how projected I am. And I've actually turned my hip almost to a Gyakuhamni position. If you think of Yondan, look how my hip is turned in, that's the same kind of position. Okay, and relax. We're now trying the other side. Noise. Get on right plank. It's a natural wind and through. Itch. And back. Knee. And back. Sun. And back. Just be light for now. She. And back. Go. 10-second break. I just want to grab some water. Please do so yourself. I'll be back in 10 seconds. Good, and let's carry on. So, your leg. Left leg going forward, get on right. Right. The next one we work on is high toe. So similarly, I'll come a little bit closer to camera so you can see, you have to have a rounded movement. Again, not too big. Make sure that your thumb is pushed in and that you're using this muscle to solidify it. You don't want your thumb sticking out. That's your contact point in. Arm is of course straight, shoulder down. And I like, let me get into camera here, just that a little bit of this effect so that as you're coming around, you're creating slightly more impact into your opponent. The same principles apply. Use your hip, stay down, through, core contraction at the end of it. Everything needs to be timed with creating that keyboard point. So let's begin. Get up right. Right. Itch. And back. And again, move at your own pace. So if you want to blast all 10, that's fine. If you want to pace a little bit, that's okay as well. We've still got quite a lot of the class to come. But whatever you do, do the form correctly, do the hip action correctly, get your final position locked. Sun. And back. She, and back, go, and back. And of course this is just a basic way of doing it, but you can attach it to Yoriashi, Suriashi, stepping. There's a whole array. We only have an hour, so I can't do everything, but bearing in mind there's a lot of variety and versatility that can be attached to pretty much any technique. Sit, and back, hutch, and back. Cube, and back, and two, and again, hopefully you keep, and stand up your man, and shake out. Your leg, right leg going forward, get on right way, again, drive over the head, light through the arm, don't be heavy through the movement. You are light until keep it point. And remember, so this is an important concept. How long is your keyboard point? Most people either do it too short and then you get a little snap like this, or it's too long and you get a very pushy movement. It's just the right amount of time, so maybe half a second, and relax, and relax. You see what I'm doing? Vibrate and end. Too long is a push, too short is a snap, and we don't want that. Okay, so back into position. I can't remember what number we're up to. I think it was around 4 or 5, so let's pick it up from there. Sheep, and back, go, and back, root, and back, sit, and back. And work on your ambidexterity as well. It's very important, very useful if you have 4 weapons, 2 arms, 2 legs, rather than just one side. Sit, and back, hutch, and back, cube, and back, two, and stand up your man. And again, shake out. I'm going to just pull this up here. Good. Okay, so the next one we work on Taisha. So of course palm heel can be done a number of ways. For example, straight up, or Jion type movement where it's coming round. Of course chin tear as well. So for now we're going to do it in a forward stance and as a rounded movement, this effect, and if we had to do the other hand, that effect. Palm heel strike, again make sure you're hitting with your palm heel. curl your fingers in, curl your thumb in. Be careful not to do that. So often I see my students, particularly when they're just learning a kata like Jion, they tend to do it this way, and actually the contact point would be on their fingers instead of the wrist. Also, I think an underutilized way to make significant impact on your teisho is the wrist cock. So if you watch, just that action alone creates a lot of kime. Add that, of course, to the whole movement, it becomes a devastating technique. So for now, we're just going to do it off the reverse arm, as if it were a Gyakuzuki type movement, but rounded, hip has to drive, strike it in, cock that wrist, get your kime point. Again, we only do 10 each side, so come to here, itch, and back, knee, and back, sun, and back, shi, and back. Don't be too heavy, lighten through the movement, kimera at the end. Go, and back, rik, and back, sich, and back, hutch, and back, ku, and back, and ju, and stand up yonder, and shake off. Right, now we do the other arm. Go ahead. Right leg going forward, get on right leg. So now you're using your left arm, itch, and back. Don't forget the wrist coil. Knee, and back. So I was watching myself in the camera there. I stopped my hip prematurely. Make sure you complete the movement. Sun, and back. Shi, and back. Go, and back, root, and back, sich, and back, hutch, and back, ku, and back, and ju, and back, and yonder, and stretch out. So we have a minute or so's break before we carry on. Okay, so now we're going to blast, but doing a combination of each technique. So the first one will be done as an oye, a stepping movement, and the second one as a gyaku type movement. So for example, we started with shuruchi. So shuruchi will be, this side view, 1, 2. So the first one is oye, second one is gyaku. Got the idea? We'll only do 2 sets. Obviously, if you need to adjust distance because you're in a smaller space than I am, that's also alright. And the second one, retract that arm through and strike. So hopefully you've got that idea. As I said, we're not going to do that many. We'll apply it to shuruchi, we'll apply it to haito, and we'll apply it to teisho. So yoi. Left leg going forward, get on right way. So we start shuruchi, itch, knee, and back. So just get yourself mentally into position. I'm now going to say hajime. We're going to do both sets without me counting. Stop after set number 1. Then do set number 2. This one, try and push a little bit. We're only going to do 3 sets of each technique. Okay. Come on. Set number 2. Hajime. And relax. You know, I think it's also important when you don't have an opponent in front of you to visualize. So they've actually shown, interestingly enough, I mean obviously you're doing it physically as well now, but that visualization fires the same neurons as actually doing it. And you sort of, just by visualizing, you actually get the technique right. I'm not suggesting you become a couch potato and only start visualizing, but that's why visualization works for top athletes. And I know certainly when I used to compete, visualization was a very strong component of my pre-competition kind of process that I underwent. Two ways of doing it, a little bit off topic because we're doing it physically now, but when you're just doing it mentally, you can either do it in the first person, so in other words, as if you're looking out of your own eyes at your opponent, which is meant to be more effective, but I find that more difficult. Or you can be a third person, looking down on yourself, training, seeing the movement done exactly as you would want it to be done, not necessarily as you are doing it, and use that technique. So before you go to bed, correct something that you saw yourself doing wrong. Before you go, just let your subconscious then digest it as you move into sleep. So, just a little tip. We now try the other side. Come on. H. Knee. And up. And move back. Run number 2. Come on. Hajime. And we do one more. Round number 3. And again, I was watching myself. I could have gone more in there. And relax. And shake out. So the next series will be high toe. So the same principle as we just did. Step through high toe, retract that arm, high toe. Stay down on your legs, compress. You have a look from the side, see how down I am, see where my body is. Get the extension off that leg, get your bum underneath you, shoulder down, use your lat. Don't get hyperextension on the shoulder. You still want back control, but maybe a little bit of shoulder spring forward. Okay, so get on break. Right? H. Knee. And stand up. And relax. We do now round number 2. Come on. Knee. And up. And we do round number 3. Are you down? Are you locked? Are you projecting towards your opponent? And stand up. We try first initiating off the other side. Okay. Come on. H. Knee. To the hip. And up. And we go a little bit faster. Knee. Again, more down, project into it. And up. And last one. Sun. So in that hip, pull that opposite arm. And stand up, young man. And shake out. Okay, the last one of this series, and then we move on to kata. We do taisho. So the idea here will be round, and then off the gyakko. It's almost like you're doing chin. Don't forget to cock that wrist. That action is important for now. Keep your chudan, but of course this can be adjusted to a drawdown attack as well. So, get on break. Hi. H. where my hip is. So, angled on the first one, drive that hip in square on the second one, and stabilize. Right, come on. Let me try again. Knee. And back. And again, don't forget to hook your fingers out of the way. Last one. Sun. I like to have my leg bent on this one so that you can propel yourself on the next one. So have a look. I'm there, and then I drive in on the next movement. Okay. Other side. Come on. Itch. So I'm almost in a sword shindachi or furudachi. Zen kutsudachi. Knee. More of a fura. Zen kutsudachi. Don't forget to drive that hip in. And the last one. Last. Your own time. Sun. And stand up, young man. And shake out, roll your hips, and we move on to kata now. So stretch out, I'll give you a minute break. Okay, so the first one, we are going to do Doji Shisho. So if you watch, I'll demonstrate first. That's your finish. So of course, high toe, shudo-uchi, high toe type movement, shudo-uchi, and change over. Of course, high toe is the other way, but nevertheless it's open hand, and it's nice practice for us. So everyone come into this position, face away from the camera so that you can turn into the camera and watch yourself. Come to here. Itch! Alright, so let's just go back and think about that. The problem is, most people just turn and then release your arm. You want to fire hip and arm together, let your hip do the movement. It must be at full pace, cock that wrist down. So come to here, ready, itch! Hopefully that was faster. Now stay down on that leg and control knee. Through. Stay down and settle control. Just a point. This arm, so I know some associations do it much bigger. I like just small, so basically just going around the neck, and then do whatever you're used to. It doesn't really make a difference. The emphasis is on getting the hand action right and the hip to drive it. And we do one more, your own time. Think hip, think control, stay down, use your body. So come to here, ready, punch. And jump there. And shake out. Good. Give yourself a minute break. Grab some water if you have. Okay, so the next one we work on, unsu, which has pure high toe in it. So the little bits or excerpt from MT we're going to work on, at least from unsu that we're going to work on, we all know from here, 1, 2, so we'll take it from this position. So it is high toe, maigeri, I'll turn around so you can see me, sotoki across your face, keeps your hand, make sure it's covered, and then of course gyakuzuki. Just an important point with the gyakuzuki. I'll do it sideways for you. Well, not most, but some people step back and you see how my power is back, and in fact I would miss my opponent. Try and picture where your opponent is. He's in front of you, stay down on that leg, stay forward. Can you see how I'm projecting off my back leg That's right here. Stay down, push your bum forward. Always keep it down on your supporting leg. Don't forget the path of the high toe. Don't forget your hip. So we start in this position. So high toe, edge. Maegiri, ni. Sotoki, san. Yakuzuki, shi. Spin. High toe. So you should be coming back towards the camera. Ni. San. Shi. And again, did you keep it forward? Did you stay down? So, of course, I'm not sure if all of you do know Unsu. So let me just show you the sequence again. Maybe do this one sideways so you can see. High toe, maegiri, sotoki, gyakuzuki. Spin. High toe, maegiri, sotoki, gyakuzuki. If you make a bit of a hash of it, not a train smash, at least just get the high toes done correctly. Okay, so let's try that again. We were in this position. Edge, ni, san, shi. Go, rik, sich, hash. And stand up. And we're going to do one more. Last one, try and blast it a little bit. I know it's Saturday night, you probably had a rough week. Doesn't matter, keep pushing. Okay, so come to here. Ready? Hajime. And stand up, young man. And stretch out. Okay, we move on to the next one. We're going to do simple teisho. We're going to do the 3 movements from Jion. So let me just give you some technical tips before we carry on. Idea here, again, not too big a path. No one's going to allow you to come so far around. Also, what I often see is people coming dead straight. That won't work. Remember, your opponent is here. You need to release slightly. See where I am? I'm almost as if I'm still doing an oizaki. Now at this point, whip the hip, cock that wrist. If you have a look at my position again, it's a true palm heel strike. Fingers are out of the way, thumb is out of the way, and I didn't forget the wrist cock. So the trick, as I was saying, is not to try and pick your foot and come around. Go relatively straight. Can you see where I am? Now, hip turns. Make sure your bum's underneath you at the end. Also, one of the biggest faults I see in my own students is their elbow tends to be too low and they tend to come up. Remember, you want to go into your opponent so that your elbow and your wrist are more or less the same height. You see where I am? Not below. So you can just rotate in the shoulder joint, get projection in, use core training. Okay, right, let's try. Get over right. So go halfway. You see where I am? I'm down on this leg. You're going to release your hand a little bit off your side. Now drive. Good. Now the next one, make sure not to arch before you go. Try and stay on your vertical axis. Project towards your opponent. Stay down, of course. Time the wrist with the contraction. So through. See where I am? Now hip. Drives. And we try one more. Through. See where I am? Hip. Drives. And make sure your kiburachi, your feet are in. Bump forward and down. And can you see I've got a very rounded effect? Don't push your knees out because if you do, you're going to have your toes sticking out. Keep it in. You down. Bum underneath. Right. Let's blast a little bit. We're going to do each move 1 count, not breaking it into 2. Don't forget the hip action I've just shown you. Don't forget the little bit of a rounded action. So come to your number 8. Edge. Of course, you and check your feet, bum under and down. And stand up. And we try one more. And do it sideways even if you want. Ready? Ish. Have a look at your position. Are you down? Are you locked? Not elbow too high, but of course not down. Knee. Side. And up. And the last one on your own. So into your position. Number 8, come in. Hajime. And stand up. And shake out. Okay, so before we get on to the kumite, I'm going to give you a slight break. I'm going to just think, have a look if there are any questions, more comments than questions. If you do have any questions, of course, you're more than welcome to message me on Facebook. I'm always happy to answer them. Right, how much time do I have left? Good, we've got a little bit of time left, just enough for the kumite section. So just have your water if you need. Okay, so for kumite, what we're going to do is do some basic ippon kumite. Instead of using Gyakuzuki counter, we're going to use Shuruchi, high toe, and Teisho as your counter. And then I'm going to apply to more complicated, more Jun kumite type movement. So again, I think it's important that you have structure. The problem with having too much structure, of course, if you only work on whatever your grading syllabus is, it tends to be quite parochialized. And you don't want that. You want to be able to expand it beyond just the key techniques that you always work. So that's what I like about these movements. Traditionally, they haven't been incorporated into our Kion, they're very neglected. Now they are, and it just starts widening it. But if it's not in your Kion syllabus, work on it offline, work on it separately. Apply it when you do kata, apply it when you do kumite, and that's the way to improve the movement. So, for the ippon kumite, we're going to do blocks off a chuda attack. So for ippon kumite, of course, you can block sotoki, you can block shutoki, and you can block uchuri. So it's not interactive, like Zoom would be, but I'm going to ask you a question, I'll give you a chance to think about it, and then I'll give you the answer that I think is appropriate. So the question is, when would you use, well, yeah, bear in mind you can even do it upright to block a chuda punch. So sotoki is different, of course, because the tai sabaki is on the outside. All of the other three, the tai sabaki is on the inside. So when would you use shutoki, when would you use uchuki, and when would you use gedamrai? I'm going to give you 5 more seconds to think about that answer, and then I'll give you what I think is a logical way of thinking about it. Of course, every situation is different and you need to apply what's relevant, but in general, shuruki is a good technique to use against someone who's taller than you and has a longer reach. If you're bearing in mind, look where my body is, now suddenly I'm much further back, so that's the one point. The other is, it's easy to do the shuruki and just adjust that line slightly, depending on whether it's coming down at you or not. Gedamrai, if you've ever tried to block somebody, gedamrai that's taller than you, it's almost impossible because you have to do this and come over. So gedamrai is very useful if your opponent's shorter than you, and very easy to just drop on top of it. The third one, which is uchuki, maybe works somebody more or less going out. Not to say that you can't apply the others in different settings, but that's one way of thinking about it. So, we're going to the first one, we're going to block sotoki. Have a look. Taisho counter. You've also got to think where you are. So maybe that arm is in your way, so blast the chudan underneath that arm. Maybe you've knocked him enough out of the way or you're a lot taller so that you can do joda. Very little for now. Most times, of course, when we're doing ippon kumite, we do a chudan gyakuzuki, so maybe chudan taisho is also right. The next one we're going to do is shuruki, and just to keep with the theme, we'll do shuruki, followed by shuto-uchi. So we keep the same principle of the shuto type movement. Don't forget to pop underneath. This one, of course, will be neck height under the angle of the jaw. Chudan, I think, would be far less effective. The third one we're going to do is uchi, and that leaves it nicely open for your high toe counter. Tai sabaki training, traditionally when you're white, yellow belt, you tend to do somewhat of low-on kumite, which only teaches you linear distancing and timing. You then move on to ippon kumite to teach you tai sabaki and lining length off an angle. So keep that in mind when you're doing it. Picture where your opponent is, try and adjust for length and line, and you need to always be straight relative to yourself. So although I'm 45 relative to my opponent, what you never want is your arm offline here or too far across to then start becoming less powerful. It's always direct and straight relative to your own body. So let's try. Right? Picture the guy stepping back, announces chudan, he's going to do a chudan oizuki. You're going to right oizuki, so you're going to step back right leg. Tai sabaki, make sure you're on his outside. Pitch. Don't forget your hip. And Tai Sho counter. Tai Sho counter. And up. Okay. Next one, shuto-uchi. Get your weight back, sit back, and off your back leg you're going to project into forward stance, transfer your weight across, and shuto-uchi counter. Knee. And don't forget, drive that hip, turn that leg in, lock that body. And stand up. And the next one is uchi-uchi, followed by high toe counter. And again, it's a pity you don't have an opponent, but picture your opponent coming at you, visualize, and adjust your movement accordingly. Sun! And don't forget to kiai on the counter. And stand up. We try the other side. So again, make sure to practice both sides. Works left and right brain, but also the ambidexterity is important, as I said before, to have twice as many weapons. So he's now doing a left oizuki. You step back with your left leg. Sozuki, Tai Sho counter. And up. And we try again. This time shuto-uchi, shuto-uchi counter. Knee. And up. And uchi-uchi, high toe. Sun. And stand up. And shake out. So again, you can see how you can practice something in Kion, then in Kata, then in Kumite. We do one more round. I'm just going to say Hajime, and you do that whole combination on your own. So the first one is Soto-uchi, Tai Sho. Right leg stepping back first. Hajime. And up. Next one, shuto-uchi, shuto-uchi. Still on the right, stepping back with the right side. Knee. And up. And third one, uchi-uchi, high toe. Sun. And up. We go the other way. So left leg going first. Soto-uchi, Tai Sho. Ish. Shuto-uchi, shuto-uchi. Knee. And uchi-uchi, high toe. Sun. And stand up beyond there and check out. And roll your hips. And again, get a sip of water, and then we do the last exercise of the day. Okay, so now I'm going to make it a little bit more complex and add in some kicks as in either the opening attack or as the second attack. So it will now be combinations of leg and arm or arm and leg, but the arm movements will of course be the open-handed strikes that we've just done. So this one will start plain and simple, off the back leg Mawashi. Hopefully you watched my first class where I explained how to do a back leg Mawashi. So I'm not going to get into too much detail again. Suffice it to say, as I mentioned last time, lift sideways, don't drive your knee forward, up. This way, hip initiates your movement and through. So if you watch, knee up, hip. And can you see where I am? Once you've done, you see how far back I've gone, and I still open up my movement. From there, once you've done your Mawashi Geri, drive that hip, Shirochi counter. So stabilize, down, look up, turn that hip. So it's back leg Mawashi Geri, followed by Shirochi, as a Gyaku type movement. So we try, off the fighting stance, fighting right, left leg first, edge, and drive. And stand up. Ready to 3. Number 2, drive that hip, knee. And back. Last one. With your ki, sun. And up. And we try the other side. If you can't do drawdown kick, absolutely no problem to go Chuda. What is important is that it is round. So whether it's round and drawdown or round and Chuda, and you know what, if you perhaps old and really lack flexibility, there's nothing wrong with blasting it into your opponent's groin. So by that I mean the inguinal ligament. Across here, drive it out, very effective move. Let's try. Edge. And back. Knee. And back. Sun. And stand up your leg. And shake out. Good. So the next one, we're going to initiate with the open hand strike. So it will be high toe as a yoriashi. So if you have a look, shift in, settle that weight back, and urumawashi. So the idea of the urumawashi is up, out, snap, back, and place it down. So it's not a hook through your opponent, it is a snap it off. So if you imagine there's my hand, the foot comes up, on your opponent, and down. Project that hip, it's only when you get that leg up, extend, snap, pull it back, and down. So this one is yoriashi, off the front leg, urumawashi. Let's try. H. Knee. Side. Enter. And make sure you have junction at the end of the foot. And change. We try the other side. Don't forget it's yoriashi. H. And back. So try not to do a suriashi. That's the easy way out. Straight off there. Over there. Off there. And hook. So you're driving straight off that back leg, because remember, you're quite close to it with that. You'll never have enough room to do it as a suriashi. Can we try the last one? Sun! And back. Sorry, I think that was number 2. Sun! Ita! And stand up, yamare. And stretch out. And we've got a fun one as the last one. So I'm going to let you get your breath back, so that you can do it properly. Okay, so a little bit of a change up. Instead of doing Teisha Jian stepping forward, you're going to step back. Then off there, you're going to spin. I know that's complicated. If you can't do that, you can do it as a kukomi at your opponent. But your hip is already wheeling. You see where I am? Just let it carry on going. Let's try. This is the last one. As I said, if you can't do that, just off your front leg. Even a fumakomi down is excellent. Fumakomi or kukomi or spinning or march. Let's hit it. Last bit. Push. Ish. And we try again. Knee. And we try again. Sun. And we try again. Right, we try the other side. Last bit. Spin. Itch. Let that hit. Go. And round. And we try again. Knee. Well, don't do that. Just keep your balance. And last one. Sun. Stay down. Anytime. And in. And stand up, young man. And to end off, we stretch out. So, center split. And up. And roll your hips. Side to side. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of food for thought. These are very effective techniques. Focus on the open hand stuff a little bit. And as I said, be conscious about it when you're training, in your kion, in your kata, and then see if you can apply it in your commitment. Thanks very much for the opportunity to teach you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time.